Hola clase, hoy vamos a tomar apuntes. Escribe el número, escribe la fecha y escribe el título. El título es los verbos reflexivos, reflexive pronouns. Okay? En los verbos reflexivos, the same person is performing and receiving the action of the verb. And that's why you're going to see a se at the end of the verb. As an example, lavarse. You see that? Lavarse. You see the se right here? So that se means that it's a reflexive verb. Every time you see that se, you know it's going to be a reflexive verb. And that means that the same person performing the action is receiving the action. Okay? We do have pronouns that go with them, and they are called pronombres. Pronombres reflexivos. Okay, so we have me, first person, the second person, the third person, nos, os, se. Okay, so according to who's the person performing or receiving the action, you're going to use this pronombres. I want to go back to the verb lavar, lavarse. For example, if I say, me lavo la cara, right? I am saying, I am the one washing my face. If I say, te lavas la cara, you're the one washing your face. You're performing the action, you're receiving the action. Nos lavamos la cara. Okay? So, we are washing our face. We are doing the action and we're receiving the action. What about when we want to make any of this same as negative? So it's easy. All we have to do is just put the no in front of the reflexive pronoun. For example, just say no me lavo la cara. No te lavas la cara. No nos lavamos la cara. This is to make it negative. To make a sentence negative sentence or statement, place no in front of the reflexive pronoun. Okay, goes in front of it. Also, when we are talking about your body parts or you're talking about clothing that you're using, don't forget to use the definite articles, okay? Definite articles you see here, la cara. Or if I say me lavo el brazo, okay? So don't forget to use the indefinite article. Another thing that is important to know is that reflexive pronouns can be added to the infinitive of a infinitive of a verb. Okay, pronouns can be added to the infinitive. I will give you an example. And when this happens, if it can be added to the infinitive, so you will have to make a change in the reflexive verb, but you will conjugate the first verb. This is where you put that in place. You conjugate the first verb, but not the second one. Por ejemplo, yo quiero Okay, I want to go to bed. Yo quiero acostarme. Okay, yo quiero acostarme. All right, so this is what I was telling you. Conjugate the first one. You're going to conjugate the second one as well. You're going to add it to the infinitive. So infinitive, you see it here? This is the infinitive of a verb. You add it to the end. Okay. I want to go to bed. So this is the infinitive. Pronouns can be added to the infinitive. So the infinitive of the verb, no change. You add the pronoun at the end. Ella va a lavarse las manos. You see that? Lavarse las manos. Okay? This se is talking about she, right? So you see how in here it goes in the front? It can also go at the end, but when you attach it to the infinitive of the verb. Alright? Alright, this is when you're working, you have, well, this is for the most part. This is the rule. However, there are some verbs that they do stem change. Okay? And they are reflexive verbs. Okay? So let's talk about them. Let's see. Verbos reflexivos. Verbos reflexivos de cambio radical. So this is what we call stem change, but verbs, right? Yes, there are some that they do stem change, and I know you're familiar with how to make you guys know how to do this. Okay, one of those verbs that you have right now, it is the verb despertarse. Despertarse. Despertarse changes the E to an IE. So for example, if I want to say in the your form, yo me despierto. Right? Notice how I change. The change happened in the second E, not the last one, right? Yo me despierto. Tú te despiertas. Él se despierta. There's no change in nosotros and vosotros form, right? Then we have vestirse. Vestirse. We have vestirse, which is to dress oneself up. Vestirse changes an E to an I. Yo me visto. Tú te vistes. Okay? Yeah, it changed. Notice how it changed. This is a new word for you because it doesn't have two vowels, but it does have one, right? It changes this first E to an I. Yo me visto, tú te vistes, él se viste, nosotros nos vestimos. Okay? Right. So then we have acostarse. Changes an O to an O-U-E. That gets challenging. O-U-E. Okay, O-U-E. Yo me acuesto. Tú te acuestas. So notice that we changed the O to an O-U-E. So there are 3 vowels added, okay? So make sure that you guys know where the change is happening and how it's happening, okay? Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys can do the rest, okay? So yo me acuesto, tú te acuestas, él se acuesta, nosotros nos acostamos. Él se acuesta. We have dormir as well. We have some more verbs that are reflexive. Dormir. Dormir. Dormir changes the O to a UE. It changes the O to the UE. Yo me duermo. Tú te duermes. Tú te duermes. We also have divertirse. Divertirse. What happens to divertirse? So we change the E to an IE. Yo me divierto. Tú te diviertes. Okay? Okay. Tú te diviertes. Then we have sentarse. So for sentarse, we change the E to an IE. Me siento. Te sientas. Okay? All right. So make sure that you know which verbs will stem change. I think we can make a list here of the verbs that do stem change. We have, well, no, you already made it. Make sure that you know which verbs stem change. And the most important thing is that you know that in verbos reflexivos, the same person who is performing, the same person who, I'm sorry, I missed here, who is performing, no. The same person is performing and receiving the action of the verb. So according to who you're talking about, you're going to use the pronouns me, te, se, nos, os, or se. Okay? So this se refers back to that person, right? Se, it's called a reflexive pronoun, and it reflects back to the person who's doing the action and receiving the action. So here you know that this is for él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes, right? Again, make sure you know how to make a sentence always semi-negative. Don't forget to use your indefinite articles when you are talking about your body parts and using verbos reflexivos, or you're talking about clothing or any article that you use for your daily routine. Okay? Pronouns can be added to the infinitive. So at the end, you add it at the end. First verb gets conjugated, the second one doesn't, but in this case, we're adding the reflexive pronoun to the end. Okay? Which verbs are good verbs? Cambio radical, despertarse, vestirse, acostarse, dormirse, sentarse, divertirse, okay? All of those. Where does the change happen? Make sure you know that I've given you some examples. Make sure that you know how to conjugate them, okay? Okay. Yo me despierto, me visto, te vistes, se viste, nos vestimos, right? I think we're gonna do some practice in class with this, okay? Because